Hey guys, this is Hunt for Games. Metal Gear Solid 5 has been out for a couple of weeks now, and after 40 hours of CQC, Mother Base, and of course, Metal Gear, I'm still finding plenty of new things I didn't realize about the game. Right after making my first 5 tips for beginners video, I learned a few more tricks I wish I'd known from the start. So here are my next 5 tips for getting the most out of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. So let's jump right into it. Tip number 1, diversify your tactics. What many don't realize is that Metal Gear Solid 5 is a far more advanced game than it even appears. As you use a particular strategy over and over again, the enemy tries desperately to adapt. You may think at first this is just the game getting more difficult, but it gets more difficult in a way that directly impacts the way you play. For instance, if you primarily use tranquilizer darts to put enemies to sleep immediately with headshots, you'll notice guards begin to wear helmets to prevent those headshots. If you put them to sleep with gas bombardments, they'll use gas masks. Try to snipe them from a distance, they'll deploy counter snipers. Once this starts bothering you and you switch to attack weaponry, they'll begin wearing heavier body armor or using shields, and the list goes on and on and on. It wasn't until I was literally facing an army of armored heavy weapon specialists with riot gear armed only with an array of tranquilizers that I started to think I was doing something wrong. I had to fumble my way through the mission for hours before finally succeeding. So try something new every once in a while, or the enemy soldiers will have you figured out in no time. Definitely leave in the comments your best way for getting around enemies' countermeasures. But this brings me to tip number 2, combat deployments. At some point you'll start running out of ideas how to get around your enemy's more advanced tactics for dealing with your infiltration techniques, but combat deployments can help you out. Once your combat team is available and leveled up a bit, this includes the Mother Base combat platform, you can start deploying them on missions to interrupt any supplies. They don't offer much in terms of financial returns and seem to be higher risk missions, so what's the deal? By picking certain supply lines to interrupt, you can affect the type of equipment available to your enemy. Shortage of helmets, not everyone will be ready to defend against your headshots. Limited supply of riot shields, guess they're stuck without for the time being. The options are large, and it's a great way to even the odds again, allowing you to return to some of your favorite techniques. Don't forget about them, and remember to use your combat team effectively before missions. So tip number 3, the D-Walker. I'll be honest, the horse is obviously an awesome option for recreating that Old Spice commercial.
I'm on a horse.
DD is fluffy and adorable and incredible at tagging nearby enemies, flowers, and difficult to find animals. Quiet provides incredible sniping support, which can be upgraded to silent status later in game, as well as providing a huge boost in morale. Then there's the Walker here, which is sort of like a little portable walking tank in a stealth game. And did I mention it beeps? Point is, I basically used it once and was like, please no, bring back the hot shit. Then I found out one little special tip. It has wheels. Yeah, they're hidden, but it's roll around like Johnny 5 on crack if you just press square. So, it's better than the horse. Okay, but what about the tagging benefits of D-Dog and I don't talk much? Well, this is where the upgrades come in. What I've just learned today is that you can get a different head upgrades for your little roller bot, including stealth weight mode so it can't be found, neat, scouting mode for marking targets, very cool, and auto defense mode, turning it into a stationary defensive turret. Wait, what? Oh my god, the possibilities. Set up in a hallway, on a cliff, anything. Just lead enemies right to your death-dealing mini-gear. At that point, it would become a multi-purpose death-dealing transportation system, the best of all worlds, which is exactly what I'm trying to get to now. That's the only problem, is it does take a huge investment of GMP and leveling of your R&D team. Keep at it though, as it looks like it'll be totally worth it eventually. Leave in the comments if you use the D-Walker and what your favorite strategies are, and especially if you've got some of these awesome upgrades. Tip number 4, the box. Although the box is one of the oldest tricks in the book in Metal Gear, I tend to avoid it in most Metal Gear games for anything other than the nostalgic value. Usually when hiding in it, you just kind of delay the inevitable investigation in which you're discovered and shot at. Super effective. Unfortunately for myself, 40 hours in I found that this box is more of a super box of utility, and it doesn't require a single upgrade to get to that point. By pressing the X button to stand, if you're on the PS4, you stand up, still inside the box. While this seems silly at first, if you have a poster that you've grabbed off a wall somewhere, my favorite being the swimsuit model, you can use your standing box with hilarious effects. Go to the box in the menu and choose a poster with square, then just stand in a spot enemies will investigate and wait for them to come over. They usually drop their weapons and oogle at the hot chick, giving you plenty of time to lay the smack down. But that's not all. For the price of just one measly square of cardboard, you can also get a sand sled. By running in vertical box mode and pressing the dive button, you dive into the box and sled down the mountainside. If you press the dive button while already down, you dive out one side, allowing you to crawl to safety. You can also pop out of the top and fire at approaching enemies if you choose. It's really the best box to date by far, and realistically one of the most impressive tools available to you, so practice using it early on. It's a lot of fun. You can also use it to fast travel from any yellow loading platform to any other you found in the area you're already in. I found 2. I didn't know about this until like yesterday. So finally, for my last piece of helpful info, tip number 5 is the riot submachine gun, or any stun weapon really. It wasn't until about 20 hours in that I started to look for alternatives to the tranquilizer gun that would still allow me to non-lethally incapacitate soldiers to be Fultoned away. I'd had the riot submachine gun forever, which fires little rubber bullets to knock people out. What I did not know is that one headshot from this puppy is almost as good as a tranq dart. They're out cold. Stun doesn't last as long, but it lasts plenty long for a Fultoning or to just move through an area. The bonus of the stun gun is A, its faster fire rate, which is crucial during alert moments, and B, the ability to unload on other parts of the body to stun just as effectively, such as multiple shots to the body or limbs. Point is, it's more effective in an active firefight if you're caught in one, and still great for stealthily taking out enemies in your way without killing them. Safety first. Well, that's it for my follow-up tips for Metal Gear Solid 5. Being 40 hours in, I have to be approaching some sort of finality, so check back soon for a final review. Be sure to leave in the comments your favorite loadouts for taking on missions, and any tips I might have forgotten here. If you haven't watched it, be sure to check out my first video for 5 beginner tips to upgrading Metal Gear Solid 5. As always, like the video if you liked it. It really helps us promote the channel and keep putting out more videos like this. Definitely subscribe for more. I'm sure I'll find out more to share with Metal Gear Solid 5 once multiplayer is released. Thanks for watching.
You're pretty good. Kept you waiting.